of course, it's not wrong to have superior knowledge, being smart. But then some words like I understand it better than you. And it's not enough that I know it well or you know it well. It's like, I do this so much better than you. And I think that's where that verse comes in, 1 Corinthians 8:1. This knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. Anyone imagines that he knows something he does not yet know as he ought to know. It's like the danger that there is of knowledge puffing it up and how it affects our marriage. Let's know stuff, let's be smart, let's learn things. But when we know a lot, we get puffed and then we lose that love portion.
And if we're not careful, we
more.
absolutely can aid in the other person feeling less than. And that's a dangerous place because I can tend to shut down then. If you're just going to be smarter than me, then I'll just let you be smarter than me.
In all of the good times and even the trials, through tears and through laughter, yeah, I know that I'll smile when I think of you. Smile for the things you do. Smile, God gave me you. You are a reason I smile.
This is Behind Our Smiles.
Pursuing connection.
And finding joy.
Even in the struggle. So, Joe, what's your favorite season?
I would say spring. Here's the deal. I like the fall, but I don't like what follows. So for me, it would be spring because summer is coming. And I just love the spring.
And what's my favorite season?
Let's see. Back to school.
I like back to school season. Actually, don't you have like baseball season or like
I
don't
used
you
to
have those kind of seasons?
Not as much of a baseball fan as I used to be. So yeah,
Different.
that would be spring.
That'd be a spring season.
Because spring brought hope that the Cubs would actually or could possibly have a winning season. But yeah, it's still spring though. I love coming out of winter. The temperature starts to get nice so you can be outside without freezing and the snow goes away. Yeah, I would say spring. But back to school, is it because it's associated with the fall that you like it so much?
I don't like the fall so much. I like summer, but summer does not feel like summer. It feels like back to school. Like the school supplies go on sale.
Yeah.
And over the years, I was always planning for the next year, what's going to happen. And then now at my new job, back to school season is busy because we sell curriculum. So it's like I'm all in with back to school, and actually I love it.
Well, and when
I love it all.
When we were kids, the school year would start later than it does now. So it does feel more like the school year starting in the middle of summer.
Yes, it's definitely very hot.
Yeah.
But see, I didn't give you summer school this year.
That's true.
You skipped summer school.
Yeah. I didn't mind that at all either, by the way.
I like summer school, but
Yeah.
no, none for you this year.
You like winter school, you like fall school, you like spring school.
I like learning and learning new things and even passing
Now,
tests.
see, I don't mind learning new things. I just don't need to call it school. Thank you for joining us today. We are Joe and Tara with the Behind Our Smiles Marriage Podcast, and one of our favorite segments on the podcast is when you share what makes you smile about your husband or wife. And today it's Kelsey sharing about her husband, Dustin. She said, my husband's passion is what makes her smile. She said, I've never known him to not go into something without 110% effort and at least 10 hours of research in his whole heart. Every hobby and moment is an adventure. Well, thank you for sharing that, Kelsey. Appreciate it. Would love to hear what makes you smile about your husband or wife, and you can do that you can share that with us by emailing us, Tara, Tara, at behindoursmiles.com.
So I wonder if he likes school because he's willing to do 10 hours of research. If you're passionate.
Funny. Yeah, my problem is research on things I'm not interested in is very different than research on things that I am interested in. And wanting to get a good deal on something, I love doing research on that.
So in our history, in our marriage, that's one of the things that showed up like in our relationship. Well, we talk about our differences a lot, but we have a very different approach to how we think about school. So I've already told you that I've loved school in general. I love books. I love curriculum. I love back to school, learning all the things, passing all the tests, and feeling like I was smart and I was a capable student. And I liked that feeling of knowing things and doing well and all that stuff. And then I know that you came in with probably not the same experience of loving school.
Could there be possibly a more opposite experience? Because I'm not what you would call quote unquote book smart. And when I was in school, that's how you gauged intelligence. So I wasn't known to be the most intelligent person in the room because I don't have the greatest book smarts of sitting down, but you show me something and I can learn. But that's why I married you, so that you could be my book smart.
So when you had a lot more going on than just, let's say, not being book smart, because I think there is more to it than that in terms of your childhood, especially when we're moving classrooms and all that. But part of it is not just being smart, but kind of, jumping through those hoops and like doing schoolish things. And some people just don't like that kind of thing.
No, sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, reading and writing, was just, unfortunately, that's not something I was going to excel at very well.
So where do you feel like you ranked in your classroom?
Oh, near the bottom. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you know that at the time?
Oh yeah. My teachers made me aware of it. My parents made me aware of it. Absolutely.
Now I have a question. Do you ever desire to like be top of your class?
I think maybe in the
forget
very
it?
early days, I would desire to get A's or get that. But when I realized it was an impossibility, I think the desire went away.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Being married to me hasn't changed that, honey. You're just happy
no,
where
don't
you
get me
are.
wrong. I do have a very strong desire and a deep drive to do well.
Succeed, yes.
To be excellent in what I do, even if I'm not like launching rockets. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I want to do the best.
Well, it's
that
funny
I can do
too,
at it.
because I mentioned that like I like school and I did like classrooms and learning activities, but at the same time, we also chose to homeschool our kids, so like they didn't have that same level of a classroom dynamic and knowing where you rank, because that is an issue sometimes, and that does inhibit learning when you're just worried about where you stack up in comparison to your peers.
Yep, I think our daughter would have done very well in the classroom. Our sons, we would have been having teacher-parent conferences quite often. But they did very well in the homeschooling.
They're very
the
smart,
fact that they could write a paper upside down, half hanging off the couch, really was beneficial for them. I'm not sure a teacher would have approved
And I think
that.
that was kind of intentional on our part too, to say, like, for that reason, we want you to do well in school and succeed to what God wants you to succeed at what you're good at, and not worry about left and right. But I think for me and for a lot of people in the culture, when you raised in a traditional school environment, there is that constant sense of ranking where you are in ranking. So it's like, again, and again, sometimes that's a good motivation to know that I'm top, and that okay, I'm going to do a little better. I'm going to get a little better grades, a little better tests. So I mean, it's not always bad, but there is that level of knowing where you stack.
my job, my whole existence, my job was to help others feel better about themselves. So, like those that wanted to be near the top or rank higher, man, you're very welcome. That's all I
but
can
even
say.
like in general, so let's take yourself out of your elementary school classroom and you're in some other setting where someone's presenting something and they ask a question. How eager are you to like to raise your hand and like answer it right away?
I'm a processor. So I like the process. And because, there was a lot of trauma in my childhood,
Yes,
and
we
we
have
all
that
have
going
trauma
on.
in our lives, but I was really severely treated when I didn't get things right. And so it's taken a long time and a lot of healing for me to be a lot more confident, even if I have the right answer. And there are times when I absolutely have the right answer, but I want to process it and make sure it's the right answer. So no, I was not eager to
And then
raise
for
my hands.
me, and if you have the buzzer on the table, whatever, I like when I hit the buzzer before. I'm not even sure if I know the answer. I'm like, I think by the time my hand hits the buzzer and like someone calls on me, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
I'm not even that sure. So it's the idea of like
Your hand's up
knowing.
before you even know the question, right? It's like, okay, I need an answer. I got one.
But there is areas like we talked about in our Make Me Smile message, was like this idea that we all do want to have something that we feel like we know a lot about. So it might not be school stuff or a traditional academic background, but still it does play a part in our marriage in wanting to know stuff.
Yeah, be experts, right? To want to be.
And to know stuff. And we're speaking from personal experience, and the idea of like, in the dynamic of our marriage, because again, we're talking about these different skills we have, that I have skills over here, and then you have a whole different set of skills and things that I'm clueless about, that if there was a class on these things, I would be, again, processing forever going, I don't know this at all. But in our marriage, the dynamics show up with saying, I'm smarter than you, right? I know a little bit more about this than you. I'm more of an expert. I can handle it better. And there is probably areas that either of us are definitely smarter than each other. But it shows up in our marriage when that dynamic is, and am I saying that right? Like,
Oh, like when it becomes competitive, or is
Yeah,
that
or
what you're
just a
thinking?
little bit like, I know this and you don't.
Yeah.
Have you ever
I
felt
think
that way, Joe?
No. Yes, absolutely. I have.
You can throw me under the bus.
Oh no, it's I've argued things that I have no business arguing.
Yeah.
We'll just say that I've held my ground on areas that I have no business. And back in the day before you could Google stuff, I could have had potential of winning some of those arguments. But once you can just Google whether you're right or wrong, then it becomes. No, I think pride gets in the way a lot, and then. I don't think I've ever, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure I've ever felt intimidated that people around me are smarter. In fact, I actually enjoy being in a room of people smarter than me because typically I'm going to learn something. Typically I'm going to gain some knowledge. I enjoy that. I do watch YouTube channels. I do want to learn. It doesn't mean that I want to necessarily do what I'm learning. You know, I don't want to necessarily put that into practice. I don't want to know how to launch. In other words, I don't want to launch rockets, but I'm curious to know how it's done. So I don't know that I'm competitive in that nature unless pride gets in the way.
Yeah. So you're saying this is my problem.
Maybe.
Pretty.
but maybe it's my problem when you've been smarter than me 5 days in a row and I'm like, no, I've got this one.
It's difficult because there is a small something enters from. I call it, superior knowledge. Like, you know stuff and I know stuff, but somehow the stuff that I know is just a little bit better and I'm a little bit quicker to know it. But it's not wrong to know something your spouse doesn't know.
You're also a better debater. So that doesn't help me. You'll convince me you know it even if you don't. No, I'm just kidding.
So there's a difference in of course it's not wrong to have superior knowledge. I'm really glad that the things that you know how to do well, I'm glad that you know more than me in that area. And the things that I say, okay, I know this well. I understand it well. But then some words I understand it better than you. And it's a little bit of a competition. It's not enough that I know it well or you know it well. It's I do this so much better than you.
Yeah, it's almost Joe, you might know it better, but I understand how I get there better.
Yeah.
I think this is an area actually where the improvement in our marriage in this area has given our marriage more mileage than so many other things because I'm able to lean on you more to say, okay, I don't fully get this. I can give it to you. I can release it to you. And then I don't have to worry about it. I can move on and do other things.
You're saying that was a win.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
It's the person who's the smartest gets the most amount of work?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
That's a great way to solve the problem.
Since you're so good at that,
yes,
you know the best, you can just handle it.
Thank you for taking that, babe.
I think that's true. But no, I think we have definitely seen that effect on our marriage where all the unnecessary arguments of who knows more about this. I mean, maybe it's directions on the highway, and I'm sure that this is the right way, how to do certain things.
I have been so wrong so many times.
But I've been so wrong too there. I'm going to say it. But at the time, though, I was sure that I had the superior knowledge. I'm so sure that this is right.
I am absolutely positive we're heading east.
Okay.
We're actually heading west.
But I think in the end, though,
yeah.
I think we're saying that this is something I deal with more than you because you're I'm totally cool being the dumbest person in the class. And I'm I am not cool with that.
Okay, to clarify, I don't want to be the dumbest. That's not what it's at. What it is
My
is
point
I
is
don't.
that wouldn't be the worst place.
No, I
You'd
don't.
be okay with it?
Well, you can fly under the radar then, see? I don't mind.
That's right.
I don't mind not being the smartest.
Yeah.
Let's just say it that
Yeah.
way. I really, this is the honest truth. I do enjoy being around people who are smarter than me. I do appreciate it.
But what if the people that are smarter than you in the room remind you that they're smarter than you?
That's a problem. When pride gets in, then you start rooting against them.
Yes.
It's not healthy that you do that, and it's definitely not God honoring. But I can find myself going, man, I hope they're wrong about this. No, I don't. Maybe that's just human nature too. There have been times where I'm really good on a subject. I really understand a subject because I've done a lot of study or research on it because I love it. The universe, right? The study of the universe, astronomy. I love it. But then I get around someone who really knows astronomy and then I don't feel so. I feel like,
But what if you know a lot about a subject and you've studied it? You really do. And then I come in, walk in the room going, oh yeah, I know this stuff. And you're you so do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's happened.
Where it's you do realize that you know nothing about this. And I know a whole lot more than you.
So
it's that feeling of
Right. And it's how do you,
I do know more than you. You know
how
that,
do you
right?
humbly say, actually, there is no water on the moon.
Because occasionally
that
that has happened as well if we're arguing. Like we both come in thinking, yeah, this is it. We know the most about the moon, and then, or your
Yeah, or
universe.
whatever.
I
Yeah.
don't know much about the universe, but the other person says something, you're like, oh, you totally do not know anything about this. And then you're like, then I feel like, oh, thanks for making me feel stupid.
Right. So I think it's all about,
yeah.
it depends on how if we answer with absolute 1000% confidence that
Yeah.
we know and it's the wrong answer, then that becomes challenging. Where if we approach it humbly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that's the other part of it. I'm not great at this all the time, but I think because sometimes I do want people to think I'm smart
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but I sometimes try to approach it as if the other person does know more. Then I'm not talking down to them.
Yeah.
I'm talking with them. Does that make sense?
You're good at that.
And sometimes I do go out on a limb and I'll make a statement that maybe is wrong. And that's a hard one too. When someone you're talking to knows more about it than you do, and then you've made a point blank statement with confidence and it's not right.
You go, maybe I don't know anything. And I think
Yeah.
there's always a good point in our lives by which we realize we don't know much at all, right? There's an element of like, there's something you've studied quite a bit and you know a lot about, and then you enter a different room or again, a different set of people and you go, oh, I don't know much at all, So that's a good feeling. For me, it's a little bit like a disappointing feeling, but then I'm like, well, I guess there's more to learn.
Well, that sums up my relationship with God, honestly, is like the more that I learn, the more I realize how lacking I really am in knowledge, how little I know. And so in humility will drive you to know more though.
Yes.
And so that's a good
But
thing.
I think that's where that verse comes in. That when I thought about like the role of being smart and how it affects our marriage, I looked at 1 Corinthians 8:1, and he's saying, now concerning the food offered to idols, we know that all of us possess knowledge, just that what they were talking about in that culture that time. But this knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. If anyone imagines that he knows something, he does not yet know as he ought to know. It's like the danger that there is of knowledge puffing it up. So again, we're saying, yes, let's know stuff, let's be smart, let's learn things. But there's that danger that when we know a lot, we get puffed and then we lose that love portion
Yeah.
in helping others to learn instead of being puffed.
Because knowing more can be addictive too. And being like, if you're around people who are like, wow, you know a lot, that can, unfortunately, that pride issue, that element can be addictive.
Like I
as
always
well.
need to know the answer. I think
Right.
that's one thing I've been like lurked on saying, even with certain things, like I do not know that at all. Even if it's like something that everyone should know, I'm like, I do not know that. And saying that's okay.
Yeah.
Versus like sometimes like you don't know something and you'll just pretend that you do.
The imposter, right? That's
And you're
a
like,
tough
yeah,
place.
yeah. And then you're following along the conversation going, okay, I'm lost. I cannot follow this conversation versus like being, again, that humility that we have and not needing to be puffed up and saying, actually, I do not have any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you
There's a
lost
freedom.
me here, right? This is where,
There's a freedom there to not have to know everything.
yeah, and I don't know is a great answer
Yeah.
if you don't know. And that's where I think it's helped our marriage a lot is that I can come in and say, I really need your help here because I
not
don't
know.
know. I don't know what we should do or what direction we should
And I look
go.
at that too as like rejoicing in the truth, right? And so there is a truth out there for studying any
Yeah.
kind of subject. We can rejoice in the truth and the right answer, but not have to fight over who had it first. So again, if we're fighting over the route that's best to get somewhere, maybe there is one true route that is the best. Our goal is to get that true route that's the best, but we're not going to fight over. But we kind of slip it in like, well, that's the route I told you to say yesterday. And it's like, it's not enough that, hey, we found the good route. It's like, I have to claim that I knew it first.
Or if you knew it first and someone is telling someone else, you want credit for that.
Yes.
And then we can get bent out of shape if we don't get credit.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm the one who thought of it first. I knew
Right.
it first. I'm like, I hate when I do that. Cause I'm like, I know that I want that superior. Like I knew it first. I had the best answer first. I had the right answer first. Again, it's like that third grade classroom is still in my head. I'm like, but I knew the answer first. Instead of going, wait, how does that build up love? How does that grow our marriage? If it is I need to know the answer first and get it right. first.
Yeah. And if,
you know?
yeah, I think it's not a competition with us.
Yeah.
I don't have to compete with you. If we work together, and that, again, back to the mileage in our marriage, we have seen that. You had shared something with me several years ago, many years ago, actually, probably, but you were reading me an article, but the idea was if I allow you to speak into my life in a non-competitive way, into your knowledge into my life, or vice versa, we tend to go much further. We tend to be more successful. Married couples tend to be more successful, have a greater level of achievement if they allow each other to speak honestly into their
Well,
lives.
and I love that I have learned so much from you because, again, you do have a whole different background from me. And your book smarts are different than my book smarts. But then the longer I'm married
You
to
mean
you.
the fact that I don't have any and you have a
there's
lot?
But there are certain things that you are so smart with that I am just like in kindergarten again. I'm like, how do you do that? How do you do that so well? And I bumble over this when you're so competent in certain areas. And instead, again, feeling like, okay, no, I got to prove that I'm smarter than him in this area or something, just going, no, this is great. I'm glad that I'm smart in areas that you're not. And I'm glad that he's smart in the areas that I'm not. And together we're top of the class.
And there's something about you acknowledging the fact that I'm smart that's so much more rewarding than me telling you I'm smart.
Yes.
Right?
It doesn't really work that way, does it? Right.
It works much better for you to acknowledge
Yes.
that. So I don't have to tell you I'm smart. And by the way, the Bible tells us we become one flesh. So when I married you, I became just as
Yes.
book smart as you.
That's what I'm saying. We combined our forces, and
Yeah.
now we hopefully can do good with the knowledge and
Yes.
we have.
But I do
No.
agree. You are extremely smart. And so I do win being married to you. As long as and I don't think there's anything wrong with fun competition.
Oh, no, we can do
or
that. We can play
we
some
can have
board games and see who gets it first.
Oh God, goodness! There are board games that I just know I'm going to lose going in. There are plenty of games that we play together, but there are a couple that I can
yeah.
win.
It's fun when we kind of go. One of us surprises each other, like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, you did do that really well." And I think sometimes a game is a good place to like practice that fun, saying, "Hey, you got it first. Way to go!" Like, and you got that. You knew that answer faster than someone else. Way to go! And just rejoice in each other's abilities without making it something like a competition, or one is better than the other, or I knew more than you. Because there are sometimes even during game playing, you can kind of get feelings really out of whack, and someone just goes, "Okay, now I feel like nothing. Now I feel, worthless because I couldn't figure out that answer that everyone thought was so easy, and I couldn't figure it out." And that can like hang with you. So I feel like in our marriage, there's a chance to build each other up and not worry about who's.
And if we're not careful,
knows
we
more.
absolutely can make the other person or at least aid in the other person feeling less than. And that is a very dangerous place to start to go, because I can tend to shut down then. If you're just going to be smarter than me, then I'll just let you be smarter than me. But I do, Tara, because you have a teaching degree and you did do some teaching. Sometimes I feel like I could be a student, right? And that's
I like teaching things.
I know, and you're not meaning anything harmful by it at all, but I'm receiving it. So it's been great for us to be able to communicate, to say,
Or
hey,
how can I say that differently? If
Right.
I want to help you
Yeah.
explain something to you. Yeah. So
because
we're
you're
good.
excited to just that I'm going to learn something. I'm embarrassed that I don't know it, that I need to learn it.
But I feel
So,
that same way
yeah.
too sometimes. Like if you're trying to fix something on my computer and you're trying to show me how to do it, sometimes I'm like, don't even show me how, because I'll forget by tomorrow what you just pressed on those keys. Just fix it for me. I'll call you again when I need more help. You're like, honey, I'll show you how to fix your own computer when it breaks. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. So I understand there's times like that I'm going, I have no idea what I'm doing and I don't even want to try. Just, Joe, you got this. Fix it for me.
And that's good.
Because you're much smarter than me.
It's not always your strengths or my weaknesses or vice versa, or things that I don't enjoy, you enjoy. But sometimes we can find a balance there to go, you are slightly smarter than me, or you're smarter than me in this area, or you actually enjoy this, or you don't despise it as much as I do, or whatever the situation
Well,
is.
I kind of like
we can lean on each other.
It's a little bit of that phrase that people say, like, can I borrow your brain? I kind of use that to say, hey, in your brain is abilities and knowledge that I don't have. Would you please share your brain with me to finish this project or solve this problem? And I think that same idea, like, hey, your brain is not my brain, even though we're one flesh. We have two different brains, so we combine our brains together, then we can work together.
I think it's so great to
worry about
have
it.
someone really close to you, like your spouse, where you can bounce ideas off of. There are so many emails that I've sent that I was, hey, Tara, can you put your eyes on this? There are so many things that I've done, presentations, all kinds of stuff that I've said, hey, Tara, can you put your eyes on this and speak into this? Because you're smarter than me in this area, right? You have something that I am lacking here, and you have been so willing to do that, and I really appreciate it. And I am learning how to not get bent out of shape when I realize the gap between us.
And I'm working on not being snarky about it and just enjoying working together as a team.
Yeah.
So you probably are smarter than me as well. In a few areas, at least.
That's I think any two people on the planet
Yeah.
you could do that. Even if you had a brain surgeon and a ditch digger, right? I mean,
Everyone
I
has
don't know
the
a ditch
value
digger, but
and God's
actually,
gifted, so-
I've heard that we used to joke about that, but ditch diggers are very smart. I
Yeah.
mean, when you think about the equipment and the math that has to go into getting all that figured out, it's pretty amazing. But I'm just saying that you can get two people together, and there can be strengths and weaknesses.
And you're saying there's more to smarts than school smarts.
Yes.
Here we go. But
oh my goodness.
But everyone do good in school. Try your best and get those A's.
I'll let you do that speaking. I would love to hear from you. Some things that we talked about today generate some thought processes or some
Is
potential
your
conversations.
spouse smarter than you?
Would love to hear from you. And also, when you email us, please share with us what makes you smile about your husband or wife. Tara, Tara, at behindoursmiles.com. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
See you later.
We'll see you again next time.